same group, but I'm going to go over the rules once again. This morning, we'll be hearing from candidates running for West Chicago Community Elementary School District Board for District 33. 5 candidates are running to fill 3 seats with 4 terms, of 4-year terms. 2 candidates did not respond to the invitation to participate today, and 1 candidate declined the invitation to participate. The candidates that are here today are Rita Baldwin and Tom Doyle. The candidates agreed to the rules outlined by the League and the Chamber of Commerce prior to this. We're going to start with, Mr. Doyle. The candidate who makes the first opening statement will move to the end of the line for the first question. This rotation continues through questioning and closing statements. It'll be hard to call you out of order, but I'm sure you know. Candidates will be allowed 1 minute to give an opening statement, 1 minute to respond to questions, and 1 minute for a closing statement. Statements and responses will be timed by members of the League who will be using countdown panels visible to the candidates. I do enforce the time limits. I will ask you to use your allotted time if you can, but don't just fill it. Just be substantive. But don't go over the limit. I'll try to let you finish a sentence if you're in the middle of a sentence. For the audience, there's also rules. Questions come from the audience. Only written questions will be used. The volunteers have cards. If you want to ask any questions, just raise your hand and she'll come give you a card and pencil. The questions must be addressed to both candidates or all candidates. Questions posed to a specific candidate will not be used. The League of Women Voter members will review the question for appropriateness and to avoid duplication. There may not be enough time to ask all questions. Well, I think we'll probably have enough time today since there's only 2 candidates here. Out of courtesy to the candidates and other audience members, please turn off all electronic devices. No voice, image, or other duplication of the form may be used by a candidate's representative or campaign in any campaign advertising. Finally, please refrain from applauding or demonstrating in any way other than that in other ways support or not support a candidate. Save that until the end. So let's begin. We'll start with opening statements, and we will start with Mr. Lewin.
Thank you. Morning. Thank you for having me here. I'm really appreciative of this opportunity, and I'm excited to be here. I have been a resident of the district for 12 and a half years. My wife and I have 4 great kids in the district, 2 at the middle school level and 2 at the elementary school level. I've been in education. My wife and I have both been in education for 20 years. I had the opportunity to be a teacher, paraprofessional, an assistant principal and principal at the middle school level and principal at the elementary school level. And I'm currently working as an administrator at the district level in nearby districts. My passion is for equitable opportunities for students, so I'm excited to work with this board and this district to provide those opportunities to see every student be successful academically as well as socially and emotionally. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Baldwin. Thank you.
So my name is Rita Baldwin, and just a little bit about me. I'm a current parent in the district. I have a 3rd grader and a 1st grader at Wagner School. I also have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, so I'll be in the district for the next 12 years. I am a former educator. I taught social studies in Downers Grove, and I'm currently a market researcher, so I understand numbers, data, and things like that. I strongly believe in the value of public education and in the duty of our schools in providing a high-quality education for all of our students. I'm running because of that belief. I'm also running because I've heard from community members and from parents some concerns about things that are going on in the district. And it's not always evident that those concerns are heard by the board. So I feel that it's important to engage those families, engage all of our families in our community, and making sure their voices and concerns are heard by the board. So that's one of my priorities in running. I would also like to focus on promoting student growth and achievement and ensuring that we have a safe and productive learning environment.
Thank you. We will go on to begin questions. The first question, and we will start with Ms. Baldwin. What are you doing to collaborate with other districts to develop a pathway to careers? How early should this start?
That's an interesting question. So I think that it is important for our district to collaborate with the districts in our surrounding community, especially since we feed into a separate district. And it's important that our our curriculum and especially throughout middle school, that those students are ready for our high school district. And there seems to be a disconnect right now that not all of our students are ready for high school, that they're not academically ready, that they're not prepared to succeed. So I think we definitely need to do a better job of collaborating so that continuum is smooth between the elementary district and the high school district.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure, what are you doing to collaborate with other districts to develop a pathway to careers? How early should this start?
Thank you. I personally am working with several school districts through organizations and committees through the Regional Office of Education in DuPage. We are networking, researching, and developing programs and frameworks to help students be successful, no matter what their background is or their experience coming into the elementary and middle school level. So my involvement is helping to create those programs and those opportunities for students.
All right, thank you. Next question. What research techniques do you prefer to use when digging in to learn about complicated or controversial issues? Mr. Doyle.
I'm sorry, once again, could you repeat that?
What research techniques do you prefer to use when digging in to learn about complicated or controversial issues?
The research techniques that I use include a lot of research with my colleagues. Once again, the DuPage ROE. I attend national conferences as well to do research to help the programs that I work with evolve. And I feel as though I can bring those experiences and those research networking opportunities to this position as a board member in District 33.
All right, thank you.
So I am a researcher, that's my trade. I prefer both qualitative and quantitative techniques for something like this. So I would very much like to listen and talk to groups of people or one-on-one to hear what they are thinking. I think looking at data, especially in terms of other programs that may have succeeded, how our programs are doing, looking at schools, accessing the Regional Office of Education and programming that they may have seen, looking more broadly, looking across the country at what is happening and what is successful, like a literature review would be helpful too. So it's accessing all of the different forms of information that are out there, hearing from as many possible perspectives to come to a decision is very important to me.
Thank you. Next question. We'll start with you again. In what ways should board members seek public input?
Okay, so I think this is really important that we engage our community, and I think our meetings are obviously open, but they're not well attended. Very few people come to board meetings, and I don't know if it's the time of day or they just don't, they don't know what's going on. But I think we need to be more visible in the community. I think we need to be accessible. Our schools hold curriculum nights every fall where parents come in and they meet with their teachers, and I think we should have a table there. So I know board members currently go, they have a name tag, but I don't recognize board members on site. I don't know about you. So I think we need to have a place where people can go at those nights and see you. I think we need to be more willing and open to hearing from people. So I think, maybe broadcasting our board meetings so that people can hear what's going on and not just read minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Dodd?
I think it's extremely important for board members to be a part of the community. So being involved as a community member in any aspect is a good way to connect with the community and learn from community members what their wants and needs and desires are. I have worked as a coach in the community, and I found that as an excellent opportunity to build relationships with other parents and learn their perspectives and views of the school district. I also like the idea of a listening post, possibly before a school board meeting, to have a 30-45 minute session for public to come have a casual conversation prior to the start of the school board meeting.
Thank you. Next question, you'll start with you again, Mr. Doyle. How should board members monitor the actions of other board members?
Well, I believe school boards have rules and norms that are established collectively, and I think it's the responsibility of each school board member to honor those rules and norms and to hold themselves accountable, as well as work respectfully with the others to hold them accountable as well.
Good, Ms. Alderman.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you join the school board and you sign up and you take an oath of office, which lists out what you're expected to do. So I think that as a school board member, you are expected to, do those things. And if you're not, then I would assume as a board that you would come together and talk about ways to hold those members accountable.
Good, thank you. Let's go to the next question. How would you as a board member weigh the different financial priorities of the district?
So this is a big issue for us, right? Because we are one of 4 districts in the county that are considered tier 1, so we have one of the lowest income levels for our county, not income, but we don't have enough revenue in our schools to meet the needs of all of our kids. We also have a pretty high tax burden. We are overtaxing our population. So weighing those two things, the needs of our kids and what we want for our children, and ensuring that our community is not highly taxed is a very difficult thing to do. I think one of the good things that's happening right now is that our state has moved to evidence-based funding. So they recognize our need, and they are increasing the amount of funding that we're getting so that we can increase our services to our students without having to increase the tax burden on our population.
Thank you. Mr. Doyle.
Well, I believe it's extremely important for the district to be progressive. I think it's very important for the district, the board members, to take a look at the needs versus the wants of the district. The needs are a higher priority, obviously, but there is a need for the want as well in order to be a progressive district, in order to hire and retain the most qualified teachers for the school district.
Thank you. We'll take the next question first. What is the ideal superintendent-board relationship?
The ideal relationship is that the superintendent understands that the school board is his or her boss, that the superintendent provides recommendations to the school board to make decisions. The superintendent does the research, provides informed information for informed decision making collectively with the school board.
Thank you. Ms. Baldwin?
I would agree with all of that. I'd also add that I would like the superintendent to be open with the school board and transparent about both what's going well and what we're seeing as difficulties and challenges, and bringing a variety of perspectives as to what's going on in the school district. So I don't necessarily want to hear only one voice. I want to hear multiple voices as to what's happening in our community.
Good, thank you. Next question. We'll start with you again. How should boards, how should boards commit to their own professional development?
I think this is really important, that, especially as a new board member, that I need to learn the ins and outs of the school board. I need to learn the ins and outs of the school district. So I personally, as part of my process for running right now, I've been going school to school and trying to meet with every single principal throughout the district to learn about their unique situations. I've also been meeting with PTOs, the superintendent, the head of the teachers union, so I can get as much information about the school district. Once on the board, I know that the Illinois Association of School Boards holds ongoing professional development so that you can learn about how to be better as a school board member, as well as what's going on in the state legislatively, and I fully intend to take advantage of all of that because I think it's really important for us to be knowledgeable so we can make the best decisions and so that we know what might be coming down the pipeline at us.
Thank you. Why is it, so this is, I'm sure I've had this question
I did.
before
I did.
over the years. I
Ma'am?
just know it, oh, I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Thank you. I feel as though networking is very important. It's an opportunity to learn about what is happening in other school districts. It's an opportunity to learn about professional development opportunities for school board members. I have had the opportunity to work with the Illinois Association of School Board, and I've been to the III conference a few times, and that has been very rewarding for me to learn about the updates in the operations of school boards across our state. So seeking out professional development on my own, as well as through conversation networking opportunities with the superintendent and school board colleagues.
Very good, sorry about the interruption earlier. And I know we've had this the last time I was here doing the forum. Why are the schools not air conditioned? Go ahead.
For me?
Yeah.
Why are they not air conditioned?
Yeah.
I don't know that I have the exact answer to that question. I know that there are issues with equity across the district as far as financial spending for updates to school buildings. I believe it's financial. I don't know the exact answer to the question.
Ms. Baldwin.
Yeah, so I agree. I think it's due to funding. Like it, as we've already talked about, right? We don't have enough money to serve our students as we need, and putting in air conditioning would be expensive, especially in our older buildings. So not necessarily in Wagner or in Courier, which are newer buildings, but our older buildings, you'd have to update the entire electrical system in order to get air conditioning to support it. So I don't know the exact answer because I'm not on board, but I'm guessing that it's financial.
Thank you. We'll get the next question first. Rumors abound about poor discipline in the junior high. What steps are being taken to improve the school's reputation?
Yeah, so I think this is actually a big issue. There's been issues at Women for a couple years. It got really bad last year, and we have a new principal this year, Mr. Luca. She has put in place, 2 deans were hired last year to deal specifically with behavior, and they've put in a new behavior management system. I know the board has, or is going to approve another dean, so there'll be a dean for each grade level, and deans are the ones that deal with the behavior issues. So that should help. Additionally, the move to block scheduling will help in that it reduces the number of kids in the cafeteria for lunch. There's like hundreds of kids right now, it cuts it in half. So the likelihood of a food fight is going to be much lower, which is really important. I think there's still progress to make. I think that kids feel that they can be disrespectful at times and disruptive. So I think there's still stuff that need to happen.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
I agree with all of that, and I have personally seen improvements across the middle school level with 2 of my kids being there. I think that one of the most important things that is being done is the relationship building that I've seen between staff members and students, and I think that is a huge priority and tremendously effective for students to feel engaged, to have a personal connection, and to have an advocate for them. And again, I've seen it with my own kids, and I believe that in addition to what else is being put in place as far as additional staff members and deans, I think that there is a focus and emphasis on relationship building, and I think that's extremely important.
Good, thank you. Again, Mr. Joe, we'll start with you. Why do you want this job, and what special skills do you bring to the table?
I want this job because I'm personally invested with my family being a part of the school district. I feel as though I have been able to contribute to the community through coaching, but I would also like to be more involved in the community. I feel as though I do have experience working with school boards. I do have knowledge of school district operations, so I would like to, because of my my work that I do professionally, So I would like to provide some of those experiences and opportunities to this district and be somebody that is an involved parent in the community to help make decisions for the best interests of the students in the district.
Great, thanks. Let's go.
Can you repeat the question?
Why do you want this job? What special skills do you bring to the table?
I want this job. So as I've already mentioned, I'm in the district. I'll be in the district for 12 years. And I've heard, concerns raised about multiple things. And I felt like now is the time to make a difference, not to wait until I didn't have a 2-year-old at home anymore, but since it's going to impact, my kids and my community and everyone that I know, I think it's really important to make a difference now. In terms of skills that I bring, so I'm a former teacher. I have a background in education. I also am a market researcher, so the data and the numbers and being able to really dig in to what's going on and look at the data and understand the data and know what questions to ask, I think is really important. And then I am involved in the community, so I am, I'm in the PTO, I'm a part of Cub Scouting, it's a part of youth sports, so I'm out and involved and engaged.
Okay, good. Next question. What is the biggest challenge facing District 31? 34?
33.
33. That's okay. Anyway, what is the biggest challenge facing District 33?
So I think the biggest challenge facing us in general is our diverse student population. We've got a highly diverse population in terms of both background and socioeconomic, and there's kids that come from trauma, there's refugees, and there's all sorts of things going on at home that they're bringing to school, and we're trying to teach these kids and bring them up to grade level because, obviously look at our scores, our kids are not at grade level. We've got about 20% of our kids testing at grade level on math and English language arts. So we're trying to do all of this stuff, and I think that is our biggest challenge. So working, we've got in place community schools and family liaisons and social workers to really help kids deal with what's going on outside of school and make their home lives better so that they can focus more on what's going on in school so that we can educate them and get them moving along.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Dillon.
Right, the biggest challenge is certainly meeting the needs of all students in the district. It is a diverse district as far as academic and social emotional needs. The biggest challenge is closing the achievement gap for every child in the district. Providing opportunities for our higher end learners as far as academics as well as our lower level academic performing students. But in addition to that, the social and emotional needs that come with every child in the district needs to be addressed, and it's not easily done with the resources that we have. So we need to continue to provide resources personnel-wise as well as environmental opportunities for the students in the classrooms.
Good, great. Next question for you. Does the district have a policy should INS or ICD or whoever come to the school?
The district should have a policy. I'm not exactly sure that the district does have a policy. The procedure should be for staff members to not allow a student to leave the building with anybody other than their own parent. If that were to be the case, then they should be contacting 911 as soon as somebody comes to try to take the child from the building.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if we have a policy, but we should. Our school should be safe for our students. They should never fear that they are going to be taken away by some random person that they don't know. So, absolutely.
So these are the same questions that we asked earlier, so I'm going to ask this one too. How will the district or you assure students and parents that immigration status will not affect the ability to get educated in the district?
I agree with everything that was said up here before. So our schools should be a safe place. We don't ask immigration status. That's not something that is ever asked. And I don't think it should ever come up in conversation. It's not the school's business to police that. Like, That's not our job. Our job is to educate our kids and get them learning, and that's what we need to focus on. So if that needs to be communicated, if parents are worried about that, then establishing this policy and making it broadly known, working with them in terms of like the family liaisons and the community schools, like I mentioned before, so that they feel safe in our schools and they aren't concerned about it, I think is something that we can do.
Good, thank you. Also from earlier, somebody give it again, sorry, go ahead.
We need to be very clear and transparent that our responsibility is to educate every child that walks through the door. Again, there are no questions asked about their immigration status. That is not the business of the school. That is not the responsibility of the school district. But it is the responsibility of the district and the school to be clear and transparent of what that procedure is in that event.
Very good, thank you. How should District 31 support students who are below grade level?
Could you repeat that, please?
How should District 33 support students who are below grade level?
Through personalization. It's the responsibility of the school district, the responsibility of the administration and the classroom teachers to know every student, know where they're at, and to meet them where they're at, to provide the academic and social emotional supports that every student needs individually, so through personalization.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. A differentiated education. Our students are all over the place. In any classroom you walk into, we've got kids way up at the higher spectrum where they're above grade level, and we've got kids that are 1 or 2 grade levels below. So we need to differentiate in terms of how we're meeting those kids' needs. I know that the school board just adopted the ARC curriculum, which is our new literacy curriculum that really helps do that in terms of reading and writing and things like that. So each student is evaluated, and then they are given goals at the level that they're at, so that we can bring them up, through the grade level to get them at grade level in terms of literacy. So they piloted that in 3rd grade this year, and we're adopting it across the district. I know that they're also working on doing guided math and breaking out kids into different groups for math to differentiate and teach at the level that they need to be taught at. So that's really what we need to do. And of course, if there's special education needs, we need to identify those and get an IEP by report implemented.
Right. How important is it to recruit cultural diverse? I'll repeat it. How important is it to recruit culturally diverse teachers to serve as role models for the students?
I think it's really important. I think it's important that our kids can see what can happen and see somebody that has succeeded that's like them. I think that's in terms of both cultural, in terms of gender, I think things like that. You want a role model so that our kids that come from homes where their parents didn't necessarily go to college, didn't necessarily complete high school, can see that it is possible for someone like them to achieve and be successful and to get a relationship going with that kind of person.
Good, thank you, Mr. Dodd.
I agree that it is extremely important. We need to ensure that the students have somebody they can build a relationship with and somebody that's trying to build a relationship with them. Through that comes more engagement from that, is that trust and that's the excitement for coming to school when you are when you have a relationship with your classroom teacher. But it's important that as we're looking for a culturally diverse staff who still keep the priority to being the most qualified staff members, so that students are still challenged and receive the education that they need to academically.
Good, thank you very much. This will be the last question that I have, so the last question that I ask before we go to closing statements. What are your views on social emotional learning? Should it be increased?
Social emotional learning, yes, certainly should be increased. I've mentioned it a few times. I feel as though Students need to be engaged in order to be successful, and through engagement is their social emotional status, and they need to be encouraged and excited about coming to school. They need to feel safe and comfortable. Without that, there is a concern for the lack of academic growth.
Thank you very much. Ms. Baldwin?
So social emotional learning, at least in elementary schools, is currently a separate, like it's a separate course. And I believe the middle school too, although I can't say that for sure. So our kids are getting social emotional learning. I think it's important for them to continue to get that. I'm not necessarily sure that I would increase it at the elementary school level at the very least, because there's other priorities. You got to balance all the priorities. If it's not in place with the middle school, obviously it should be, because middle schoolers are dealing with, on top of everything that elementary students are dealing with, middle schoolers are dealing with middle school issues, right? So there's a lot going on there. So it's definitely an important part of our curriculum, and it should continue to be in place.
Thank you. Mr. Bill?
Oh,
I'm sorry. You answered
I
that.
did.
So now we'll go to closing statements, and we'll go ahead and start with you, Mrs. Baldwin.
So thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting the event, and thank you to all of you for coming and asking these questions. I think events like this and the dialogue we've had today is really important, and we need to, continue to engage our community and find out what's important to community members, to families, and things like that. And I would very much like to hear from anyone who has opinions on anything that we've talked about today, or anything that's going on. My card's on the table, and I've got an email address on it, so you can reach out to me at any time. I hope you'll consider voting for me, because that's why I'm here, right? I believe that I bring a strong combination of skills to the table, and I can promise to work really hard for our community. I'm an overachiever. I'll put everything into it that I possibly can. I'll listen and I'll consider as many perspectives as I can. I like to make decisions based on a wide variety of information to make sure that it's the right decision. And I'm invested in our schools and our community for now and into the future. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bill?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm really excited about this opportunity, but I'm more excited about the direction of the school district. I feel as though a few years back I had a concern with my two oldest going into any middle school, not just in 33, because I worked at middle schools, and it's a little concerning. But what I have experienced as a parent in the community, and specifically in District 33, has been very positive over the past few years. I'm very excited about the direction, and I want to be a part of seeing this growth and this district continue to move in that direction. So I'd like to be a part of making that happen. Thank you.
Good. Thank you both very much for coming today.